Hello guys, welcome back again to another late night horror film in our extreme horror film week. Tonight we're looking at a video nasty from 1980 called Eaten Alive by Umberto Lenzi. It's one of the infamous cannibal films. So let's have a little look at the edition. So here it is, guys. Here is the physical release for Eaten Alive, a relentless feast of human flesh. Released here on Severin Films. It is region free Blu-ray. Let's have a look at the edition. So it comes in a black case. This is a anonymous sort of video nasty. I believe it's section 2 though. Not sure. But there we go. It just comes with the film on Blu-ray. Nothing special on the box. But it does look like there's a reversible sleeve. Let me see if that is at all able to see. Yeah, it's called Doomed to Die. It's a different cover. I actually prefer the Eaten Alive one. Has the same actress on the front that was in the Deep Red River, whatever it was called. And that is the physical release of Eaten Alive. So it's an okay edition, you know, there's nothing fancy about it, no fancy pants for this one, just a reversible sleeve with its other sort of original sort of title, and that's all we got with it. So let's see if there's any special features. So guys, this is the main menu for Eaten Alive. Your special features are Welcome to the Jungle, an interview with Umberto Lenzi, Mimi Lai Bites Back, featuring documentary of the Queen of the Cannibal films, The Sector of Purification, an interview with product Antonio Galenge, archive interviews with actors Ivan Rancic and Robert Kerman, and questions and answers with Umberto Lenzi from 2013, and a trailer. And that, guys, is your special features on Eaten Alive. So there's a couple of interviews and there's some stuff with Umberto Lenzi and things like that. So that's pretty cool. Glad to have something on there, and I'm just so glad they haven't put the Video Nasty documentary on there, which they tend to put on loads of their releases, but they haven't with this one. So let's get to the story. So this is about a woman called Sheila, and she is her sister's gone missing. I think her sister's called Diane or Anne. I think it's Diane, and she's gone missing. And while she's sort of investigating this, all these sort of little murders are happening in like New York and that, where we're seeing these men being killed by this sort of native-looking guy that's supposed to be from New Guinea. The film starts in America, and the police sort of trace back because the guy that's killing them gets killed by a car, and they find a real film on him, of course, and they look at it, and it's like when they watch it, some sort of tribal sort of dances going on, and they think it's located in New Guinea. So Sheila makes her way off to New Guinea with a guy called Mark, who she's paid for to go and help look for her sister. So they arrive in New Guinea, and they're making their way to this camp where it's run by a guy called Jonas, who's turned it into a cult. And it's like this tribal cult that's going on this sort of New Guinea area, and the other half of the island is our cannibal tribe. They come across the cannibal tribe at some point, but then they seem to get scared off as they're taken in by the cult, and then they're taken to Jonas. And Jonas informs Sheila that her sister is alive and they'll see her soon. And there's some sort of ceremony going on where they are one of the women's husbands died, and she is sort of like burning him on this sort of like burial thing. And then when she's burnt him, she has to lay on the ashes, and she gets raped by 3 of their family members. it's that sort of bizarre sort of thing. So all this crazy stuff coming on, and sort of Sheila succumbs to Jonas's kind of teachings in a sense, where because she gets drugged, there's this liquid that they use in like to drink that, and he's drugging them, and he sort of rapes her with this wooden shaped man thing, if you like, but it's really big, and he sort of rapes her with it, and all these really bizarre things going on. And Mark makes a run for it, tries to get away, but actually comes back and tries to trick Jonas by saying, "Oh, I've succumbed. I believe you. I want to join your tribe," and all this sort of thing. But it's just a ploy to try and get Sheila and her sister and get away from this area. And whilst this is all going on, we see loads of sort of ceremonial things going on with animals, which we'll get to at the end. And the sort of film plays out like this. The cannibal side of it is quite weak until the very last sort of 10-15 minutes. Then it kicks in and we get to see the cannibals in action. But it's got a bit of a deeper story to a lot of the cannibal films. Get to me final verdict. Right, I'm going to score it a great watch and give it an 8 out of 10. And that's solely because the story is pretty good on it. It's quite a good story. Like I said, it's not a full-on cannibal film until near the end. And there is some extreme gore near this sort of last sort of third of the film. When the cannibals come on, we see the women getting killed, getting their breasts cut off, getting pulled open, and we see the rib cages and all this crazy stuff. But the most extreme thing in this film is the animal cruelty. There's more animal cruelty in this than there is in Cannibal Holocaust. There's more animal cruelty in this than there is in the Deep River, Red River. There's more animal cruelty in this than there is Slave of the Cannibal God. This is the one with the most, I think, animal cruelty in it. It's just each other scene we have animal cruelty. We see some poor animals getting killed by humans, like crocodiles, snakes, and things like that. But we also see animal on animal thing, like a constrictor taking down a monkey, and all these sort of crazy things going on. It's unacceptable. I think at the time it was just something that it almost felt like generic. They got to have it in the film almost, you know what I mean? Just like a man having his manhood cut off in that cannibal film. There's one of those in there as well. Not as extreme as the other ones, but that's in there as well. It's almost like it's got to tick every box. And animal cruelty, sadly, was in this too. But a lot of them does say that in this one, the animals that were killed by the tribal people, which they use for their food and things like that. I'm not so sure. You know, there's still no need to film it or whatever, but it is of its time, and I know most of these directors do regret all these sort of incidents that have happened in the film. But unfortunately, there's no uncut version on here, so you have to watch the version with the animal cruelty. To be honest, most of the time when I saw it coming, because you kind of see it when they've got like an animal in their hands or tied up, you think, here we go, they're going to do something. I just got on my phone and just didn't watch for a minute or so, but you just know it's happening. And the odd occasion you look up and you see a bit, oh, I didn't want to see that. But yeah, all the human on human, I don't give a shit. I don't mind. It's all good. In fact, it's pretty cool. Some of the effects in it's really good. Some of it's really daft. There's one bit when the guy's eating Diane's leg, and you can see it's plastic leg, but it's cool. Some of the effects look really good. Those sort of cannibal effects are a lot more tamer than Cannibal Ferox or Cannibal Holocaust. They're a lot more tamer. It was just the animal cruelty was a lot more heavier in this. But there we go. The pluses of the edition, it does look really nice. It's got a lot of grain on the film, which is cool. It's a really good cast, really well acted. I liked pretty much most of the cast members, even the bad guy, Jonas. He played it really well. It's a kind of a different cannibal film because you've got a cult going on where it almost goes to near the end of the film. We get like a mass suicide as well from the cult when they're going to get sort of found out. It's pretty cool. I like that. That reminded me of the Sacrament. But yeah, I really quite enjoyed the story. The only thing I didn't like was the animal cruelty. Apart from that, the gore's good, the film's good. Definitely worth checking out. Massive shout out to my lads. See you soon, guys.